And welcome back. Welcome back. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. You know, when we are fasting, as we are doing in this space, often we find that there are questions that come up. Questions about how we should fast, which fasting method we should do, how do we actually go about being successful in the fasting space. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we get successful. How do we make sure that we are successful as we're fasting? Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And we are moving into a limitless life. We're moving into a limitless year that's powered by this new you, the new us that we've created, that we've brought with us into this new season. So welcome, whatever platform you are on, wherever you find yourself right now, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitch or here on YouTube, we welcome you to the space. Thank you for joining us. Exciting show that we're going to have tonight. I look forward to having the conversation. And you know how we do. We're going to be taking a look at my meters, taking a look at my blood sugars so that you could see where I am, what's been going on with my blood sugars. I am in the third, just about to start the third day of my 3-day fast, 72 hours. If you were with us last night, yesterday in our episode, you saw as I got into that fast, I was right around 22 hours at the time, and right now I'm right at about 46 hours as we move into the 48th hour, 48th hour of this fast, and then move into tomorrow as we get into 72 hours. Just excited to be here. Glad to be in this space. For those of you who are out there who are fasting, go ahead, you can drop that in the comments, drop that in the chat. Let us know that you are fasting. If you are new to us, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to me, go ahead and put new in the comments because I'd love to give you a hand clap and let you know that I'm excited that you're here. If you do have questions, go ahead and put those in the chat also because I want to get to those, and make sure you put a Q in front of those so that I know that that is a question that I need to get to. So if you know that somebody should be here that's not here, go ahead and let them know that we are in the space and that we are moving and that we are having a good time as we have the discussion. So once again, I've got my meters off to the side here. Well, let's go ahead and let's take a look at that. I've got my meters that we're going to take a look at. My test strip, and bringing that down here. And then right below me, that is my glucose meter for my Dexcom that we'll take a look at here in just a little while. So why are we doing what we're doing? We'll talk about that. Let's go ahead and let's say hello to some of our community members that I see out there. Just to let me do one thing here. All right, well, let's see. We've got let's change. Let's do this one. So Gian is saying hi all. I like the intro music. Well, thank you, thank you for that. I like that music as well. Someone said it reminds them of one of those series. Someone said to me, but I enjoy it. So glad that you like that. Steve is saying hello as well. Gian says hi, Steve. Gian says, hi, doctor. Happy to see you again, and I'm happy to see you as well. Gian said, it's lunchtime here, and I'm about to eat. Go ahead and tell us, Gian, what are you eating? What are you eating? And, of course, Steve is saying, hello, Gian. Now, I went to the grocery store today, and I did some shopping. It wasn't my shopping episode, but I'm going to hopefully show you some of that video so that you can take a look at it, and you can tell me whether this is going to be a good kind of view for you guys. I wasn't quite sure how to put it together, but we'll see. We'll take a look. Okay. All right. So as we do in this space, and the question that a lot of people ask is, why are we doing what we're doing? And if you're new to us, if you are just coming on and somebody invited you to be here, what we're doing is we are fasting. And this space right now, over the next 2 days, well, actually today, tomorrow, our episode, we are talking about how do we successfully fast. Let's back up and let's give you some backdrop. Let's give you an idea of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So metabolic disease, metabolic syndrome is the phrase that we use, encompasses a lot of different chronic illnesses. Those are things like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, coronary artery disease, and those are the diseases that people suffer with in the idea of chronic illness. When we talk about chronic illness, those are the ones that we talk about. Diabetes is the prototypic illness that signifies or has components of all of those. And so in our quest to reverse our diabetes, we find ourselves learning these tools. And one of the tools that we've learned is the tool of fasting. And so with fasting, we hit all of the pillars that go along with reversing diabetes. So insulin resistance, we improve that, we improve weight and so forth. But the three pillars that we've talked about, number one, we decrease our insulin, we suppress the appetite, and we reduce sugar. And so that's the idea behind the fasting. And the fasting is an amazing way of doing that. And so in this space, we talk about how do we fast successfully, because it's one of those tools that we use. I am in the process of a 72-hour fast. We have community members that are out there that do different types of fasts. As a matter of fact, I see one of our community members that's in the chat right now who does essentially a one meal a day fast. So they fast for almost 24 hours and do one meal a day. And in that process, we are improving our metabolism. We're setting ourselves up to be metabolically flexible and to be able to treat those illnesses, those chronic diseases that we talk about. Okay? And so I do a 72-hour fast once a week. That's right. You heard me. 72 hours. That's 3 days. 72 hours once a week. I do a 72-hour fast for several reasons. The first reason that I do a 72-hour fast is that I want to show you what it's like to fast. I want you to see what is going on with me metabolically. I want you to see what's going on with my blood sugars. And so we come on in this space and we share that with you so that you're able to see what's happening. Okay? You get to see it in real time. You get to hear the stories. And we are working on different ideas about fasting. We're changing our mindset. We're improving our thought process around fasting so that we can set ourselves up for success. Okay? So that is what we're doing as we're moving through this space. And so what you will see is that on our show on Mondays, Dwain Woode MD Live, we are working through the path. We're walking down the path of reversing diabetes and improving metabolic disease. And then on our check-ins, we're checking in to talk about the tools that we are using to implement and to achieve what we're doing as we walk through the path, right? So that journey that we're on, every Monday we come on and we talk about the journey. Each time we talk, we're talking about a step along that journey. And then our check-ins are really, okay, how are we applying the tools that we're using to achieve that? Okay, and one of the tools that we'll be using is fasting. Now you'll see as we go through this season, you'll see that we will talk about other tools that we will learn or tools that we have learned, right? We'll rehash those and improve upon them, and do some different things there, okay? All right. So let's see. I did see one, Lisa, one other person that I saw pop in. So let me go ahead and just say hello. So Steve, we saw that one. Gion says, I am going to eat chicken and rice. So chicken and rice. So Steve, there's that rice again, man. Gion says, I am OMAD so far. So 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day. And Autumn said, I am at 80 hours. Autumn, let me give you some music for that one. So Autumn is one of our community members who is, and she is in a fast, and she's saying right now she is at 80 hours on her fast. Autumn, drop in the comments. Drop in the comments for us where you are. Where you're heading. How far are you going in terms of the fast? And then Autumn says, hi, Gion and Steve. Steve saying that's great. And I'm assuming that's talking about the fasting. Feels good so far. I'm not really hungry. I do think about food though. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to star that. And Steve said, killing me, Gion. Yeah, man. So I saw that in the comment. I was like, okay, here's that rice that we talked about last night, Steve. Here's that rice. And of course, Autumn saying, hi, Dr. Wood. Gion says, why, Autumn? You are a rock star. And then Gion saying, sorry to Steve. All right, so let's go ahead. And so when I'm doing my check-in, when I'm doing the check-in, when I'm talking about this episode, I do also do a check-in to talk about how I'm feeling personally as I'm moving through the fasting space. Because if we are not paying attention to our bodies, paying attention to how we're feeling, then the fast may not go as well as we want it to go, and that does not lend itself to being successful over the long haul. And so let me hop over and let's do our check-in. And there are three phases of the check-in that we want to talk about. And number one, we want to talk about how I'm feeling physically. And number two, mentally, and then emotionally. And so in the physical space, when we talk about fasting, often people will talk about their energy and how their energy may dip and they feel like they've hit a wall, or they feel like they're drained. And at 46 plus hours, I'm not feeling drained. I'm not feeling as though my energy is depleted. I'm not feeling as though I'm hitting a wall. I'm actually feeling pretty energetic. Now, that's because, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow, that's because I'm doing a good job of resting. So last night, after we got off the show, I did a couple of things, and I went and I slept all night, didn't wake up, and I was a little sleepy today, because remember we did our show a little later last night. I was a little sleepy today, but not so much that it caused a problem. And because I did a good job of resting in the fast, I am not feeling some of those symptoms. When we don't rest, or let me say it this way, when people talk about fasting, sometimes they will have or feel as though they're drained, feeling as though they're walking through quicksand, some people will say, or mud, feeling lightheaded, dizzy, sweaty, feeling palpitations like the heart's racing or skipping a beat. Those are all things that people can feel, and I am not feeling any of those at this point. Okay. Number two, mental. So the mental process many times will go along with how we're doing physically. So if we are not doing a good job of the physical part, then it translates into our thought process. You know, sometimes when you're tired, you just can't, you're not all there. Everything is not as quick. Your calculations, your interactions, your response time, all of those can suffer when we're tired. And right now, I am not feeling any of that, feeling as though I am actually pretty sharp. I've been pretty alert over the course of the day, and here in this space right now, yes, I'm feeling pretty energized. And then, of course, emotionally. So fasting is more than just, hey, let's not eat. It is there's a big component of emotions that's involved in that. There are hormonal changes that happen, and if we are not aware of that, sometimes we think something is going on, something is going wrong in the fast, and it's not that something's wrong. It's just that there are some emotional or hormonal changes that are going on. So right now I am, as I said, I came out of last week, came out of the week before, being ill and dealing with some emotional things. And so right now actually feeling pretty good. I'm excited about the new season. I'm excited about my interaction with my team at the office, and I'm excited to be fasting on a routine basis again. We took a couple of weeks off, and we did a fast earlier in the week, and then started doing. It was almost a one meal a day, as Gian was saying in the chat, but was eating along with the holidays, right? So I'm excited now to be back in the space where I'm in that routine and we are doing our fast on the days when we said we were going to do them. So emotionally, I'm actually feeling pretty energetic and pretty good right now. All right. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at blood sugars, and give me a second, and let me get my Keto Mojo and my Contour up. If you think you know what my ketones are going to be, by the way, you can go ahead and drop those in the comments, because we are going to take a look at that here in just a minute. But this is my Dexcom Clarity report that you're going to see here. And you see that my Dexcom Clarity says that my blood sugar right now is 98. And if I kind of run my finger along, actually, let's do this. Let's go back. Let's take a look at okay, so here's my Freestyle Libre. So Freestyle Libre says 85 is what my blood sugar is. And if you look at that kind of white line down at the squiggly line down at the bottom, that's in the kind of greenish gray, the darker green gray section, that's my blood sugar. And so my blood sugars today, according to this, have been all below 150. And you'll see there right at about maybe 2 o'clock, it dipped below 100 and it stayed below 100 for most of the afternoon. Okay, so that's what the Freestyle Libre is saying. Now, this one doesn't allow me to see what the actual blood sugars are on that line. So for that, we're going to hop over and take a look at what this Dexcom is saying. So I'm going to first of all switch it to 12-hour view. And if I run my finger over, you'll see that according to it, my blood sugars drop below 100 right at about 7:05 p.m. For the rest of the day, the last 12 hours, just like the Libre says, I've been below 150. You'll see that there as I'm scrolling along, right? And over the course of the day, the blood sugars got lower and lower and lower. If I change this to the 24-hour view, and we'll see here, let's go back here. So yesterday, 10 p.m., as we got into the 24-hour mark right there, so my blood sugar was 107, right? And right this morning, right, so we popped up to 130 something, 137, 142, 141, okay, 144 I think is what the highest was there. And this morning, I deliberately did not use the toothpaste that had the sugar. So what we're seeing here, this is really all dawn phenomenon, right? Look at that. And so this also indicates insulin resistance. Okay, and some of that is residual from the food that I was eating over the course of the last couple of weeks. So remember that as we talk about metabolism and reversing diabetes, one of the reasons that many people don't like the phrase reverse diabetes is that it seems to signify to people that they can then do whatever they want. And I want to dissuade you of that. It's not that you can do whatever you want. Now, your body is a lot more resilient during that process. But if all of a sudden we start doing some of the things that we were doing before, then you'll see there that insulin resistance, right, begins to peak up, it begins to come up. And so we'll see over the course of the next several weeks that that the body becomes much more responsive. Okay, and so there you'll see, so we peaked up to 144, and then over the course of the day, down to where we are right now. Okay, and let me go back over here so you can see this is the Freestyle Libre. All right, now with that, let's go ahead and I'm gonna pop over, and so I've got my Keto Mojo, and I've got my Contour. Let's get one of these handy dandy strips. That one's not behaving, so let's grab this one. There we go. All right, and here's my Contour. So let's get a Contour strip out. We'll get that into the Contour meter. We'll open up this is the strip for, let me do this. This one. This is the blood sugar strip for the Keto Mojo. So get that in. But at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and open up this guy. This is the strip for the ketone, because I don't want to have to poke myself again. And let's hop back over to this view. This one, actually. And let's grab a lancet. Let's see. And I deliberately didn't stock this again because I want to use all the lancets that are there so you guys can see how the various ones work. So this one is one that is similar to the one that I've been using, and you know I'm kind of partial to the other one because it actually does a pretty good job of getting me a drop of blood. This one hurts a little bit more, but you know, people use lots of different types of lancet, so we're going to use this one. And basically you twist this off, twist the top off, and you may be able to see there, let's see, there's the needle. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, let me get this out of the way. There we go. Basically find a finger, and I tend to use the same finger, so my finger, this one is, I don't want to say callous, but if I go on this side, it doesn't hurt as much. But as a result, I don't usually get as good a flow of blood. But we're going to try it with this one. So let's go ahead and, ow, ow, ow. Okay, let's see what that did. And so I think we're going to get a drop of blood there. I hope that will bleed a little bit more, because I need 3 drops, right? One for the Keto Mojo for the blood sugar, one for the Contour for blood sugar, and then one for the ketone. So 97 is what the Keto Mojo says that my blood sugar is, and 96 is what the Contour says my blood sugar is. And you'll see right here, the Freestyle said I'm 86, okay? So let's go ahead and take this one out. I'm going to get the ketone strip in. Let's make sure we still get a drop of blood. And let's go ahead and get that started. Let's see, did that work? Yep, so it did work. So I like that. All right. And we'll let that kind of run, and then we'll come back and we'll look at that again. So I did see some folks who dropped some comments in about what they thought my ketones were going to be. So let's go back and take, let's grab some of those. Let's see. So Autumn says, I want to fast as long as I can. No particular goal as of now. Steve says, Gian, I have some black rice I'm going to try. Okay, yeah, Steve has some rice that he's gonna try. Autumn, I starred your comment. I know I didn't comment about it when I put it up, but I starred it because you always have some great comments that I want to go back and take talk about. Gian says, "Wow, great, Autumn." So talking about the fasting. Gian says, "Great, Steve." Thank you, Gian from Autumn. And then, Doctor, how could you exciting fasting? Wow, I'm a little nervous though. Um, Gian, I think let's see, I think you're trying to say, how can I be that excited about fasting? You said you're a little nervous. Yeah, yeah. Once again, let me grab that. Steve says 0.8. Autumn says 1.5. Gian says 1.0 maybe. And then Real Men Rising. Good evening. Hey, hey, hey. How are you? Get a hand clap coming through. Real Men Rising says, good evening, Dr. Woode. Good evening to everyone in the live chat. Hey, thank you for coming through, man. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. And Gian saying, how are you, man? And then Autumn saying hello. All right, so let's go ahead and let's have a conversation. Actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and I want to show you some of this video footage that I took today. And this was at the grocery store this evening. Let's see, here it is. So I'm going to talk through it, so you're not gonna hear the sound of this, hopefully. At least that's the plan. Okay, so let's go here. And you'll see, and so this was not any particular shopping adventure. I was just at this grocery store, and I thought I wanted to show, and let me put myself up on the screen. Wait a minute. Let's do this. So I wanted to show, I was testing to see, I think either Autumn or East Coaster was asking me yesterday about an episode of fasting. And so I went to the grocery store and I was testing to see what this would be like. And so this was just with the intention of seeing what that would be like. Hopefully you guys like the format, but I think this is what we'll end up doing. Yeah, I think this is what we'll end up doing as I do my shopping episode, and hopefully I'll have a mic up so that you can see some of the things I'm putting in. And I did that. So Steve, I put that in the cart specifically for you, man. So those are some almonds. That is some chicken that I'm getting, and they're chicken wings that are there. Right now, there's some weather coming through, and so a lot of people are out shopping and Autumn says, let's see, Autumn Joyce, she said, Dr. Woode, did you put Cadbury in your cart at the store? No, I did not put any Cadbury in the cart this time. I didn't put any Cadbury in the cart this time. Autumn says, shopping video looks good. Yeah, so Autumn, I'm sorry, you're fasting, right? So hopefully this is not triggering right now. But so the hope is, like I said, that we're going to be doing some of this, and we will go through and talk about some of the things that I am purchasing, some of the things that I'm going to pick up for my my fasting, and some of the things that we're going to pick up for just to maintain good blood sugars, Okay, so that's where we are so far. And like I said, this was not intended to be a complete video, but just so you can see what it possibly would look like, and then we'll go from there. Awesome. All right. So Steve, so Autumn says she likes shopping videos. Steve said I like shopping videos too. Steve says I have a kitchen full of nuts, and he said every time I go to Publix, I get those wings. They are good, right? And they're very convenient, right? So they're very convenient. So, all right. So let's talk about fasting. Let's talk about fasting and how to be successful. How can we be successful in our fast? So the first idea behind fasting and being successful in a fast is to understand what your fast is, or what fasting is. So fasting is not starvation. Often I say when I talk about fasting, people say, "Oh, you are starving yourself." And it is not starvation. Fasting is the voluntary avoidance of food. In our case, we are doing a complete fast, meaning, a calorie fast. I said complete. We're doing a calorie fast, which means that we're not taking in anything that has calories, but we are taking in fluids without calories. So water you can drink, unsweetened tea or artificially sweetened tea, if it's sweetened with sweeteners that don't cause a spike in blood sugar or cause an insulin reaction. And one of the things that we have said is, for those of you who are out there who have to have your coffee, right? And there are people who say, I can't make it through the day without coffee. Then we've said, okay, we're allowing black coffee. Okay? So anything that falls within those parameters is what we're doing. And so understanding that fasting is not starvation. So when you come to fasting, you have to come to it with the idea that I am voluntarily doing this. If you're coming to it with the idea that it is a chore and that someone is making you do it, then you're setting yourself up for difficulty with the fasting. Right? So the difference between fasting and starvation. Starvation is not voluntary. Fasting is voluntary. That's the first thing. The second thing is we have to understand why we're fasting. When we're talking about how to be successful. Number one, understand what fasting is. Number two, understand why you're fasting. And we've given several ideas, and we'll talk more as we go through various episodes in the show, as we get through the season. We'll talk more about some of those benefits. But the huge benefit that we are using fasting for right now is we're using fasting to be able to reverse our diabetes. That is, you hear me say, I'm talking to adults with type 2 diabetes who want to reverse their diabetes. Now, having said that, remember that I gave the example the last time that metabolic diseases are kind of like having a Christmas tree. And each of the metabolic diseases is a ornament that's being hung on the tree. So on the tree of metabolism, metabolic illnesses, there's diabetes, there's high blood pressure, there's high cholesterol, there's coronary artery disease, there's polycystic ovarian syndrome, there's stroke, there's peripheral vascular disease. And so all of those are hanging on this metabolic tree, if you will. And so when we talk about treating, we talk about treating diabetes, but remember, diabetes on that tree is an example of a lot of the other things that are hanging on the tree. So if we can treat diabetes, then those other things, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, on and on and on, all of those metabolic diseases that are hanging from the tree also improve. And so understanding your why. We're talking to adults with type 2 diabetes who want to reverse their diabetes. But that doesn't mean that if you don't have diabetes, these things don't work, because you're on that metabolic tree. So if you want to lose weight, fasting, great way to do that. If you want to improve your cholesterol, fasting, great way to do that. If you want to improve your blood pressure, fasting, a great way to do that. If you want to improve your liver disease or polycystic ovarian syndrome, or you want to set yourself up for improvement in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, fasting is a great way to begin doing that. Okay? So metabolic diseases, fasting will help with that. Fasting will improve that. So as you're coming to fasting, why am I coming to fast? And then what is my goal during the fast, right? So am I looking to decrease my A1C by a point, 2 points, by 3 points? Am I looking to become more insulin sensitive? Am I looking to lose weight? And you guys have seen my weight journey over the course of the past year and a half. Fasting. So what is your goal, or why are you doing it? And then what is the goal? What is a milestone that we are going to say, okay, we're being successful there? So once again, we're talking about how to fast successfully. Because if you're just going to fast and say, okay, I'm just going to fast, and you don't have a clear destination, then one, you don't know whether you're being successful, and you don't have places along the way, those mile markers that will help you know, okay, I'm meeting my point. I see a friend of mine here in the chat who drives trucks. And as a part of that, I tell you, when I drive, and I don't like to drive, by the way, right? I'm not a long distance driver. So when I'm driving, there's this game I play with myself. Okay, where can I get? What mile marker am I at? You know, if I'm going 100 miles, okay, what mile marker should I be at when I'm at 50 miles? Or what thing do I see along the road as I'm moving, so that tells me that I'm moving in the right direction, I'm making progress. Okay, so what are those things that you're going to be doing or looking at as you're moving through the space that says, okay, this is where I am? One of the great ways to monitor that, which will be coming up here in just a little while for me, is to look at those markers of metabolic disease. So things like A1C, cholesterol. When you go to your doctor, looking at your blood pressure, looking at your C-peptide or insulin levels, looking at your liver functions, looking at your kidney functions, all of these things are things that I look at as I'm moving through the metabolic space, because I want to know, are the tools that I'm using giving me the benefit that I expect? I have an appointment. Actually, I think it's tomorrow. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but we have, weather that's coming through with my eye doctor, right? So when I go to my eye doctor, I want to know what's going on in here, right? Am I seeing retinopathy, right? Remember the triopathies: retinopathy, neuropathy, and nephropathy, right? So I'm going and I'm checking in. Here coming up in about a month or so, we're going to be seeing my primary doctor, and we're going to be looking at blood sugars. We're going to get an A1C. All of those things are things that we want to look at is in the space. Now, if you're in this to lose weight, then you want to be tracking your weight as well. If you're in this to improve cholesterol, you need to be tracking the cholesterol. If you're in this to improve your blood pressure, whatever you're doing, whatever the thing is that you want to have, you want to make sure that you're tracking. We did a show in our last season about a scale. It's called the Fit Index, which is the scale that I recommend to those folks that I work with. It is a scale that gives you all of the little metabolic parameters, and we're going to come back and do a show where we show that again. And the little game I play with myself, right? So when I first got the scale, it Bluetooth to my phone, and they had all of these different components that were there. They measure your body weight, and of course your BMI, and your body mass, and your muscle mass, and your bone mass, and how hydrated you are. And a lot of those were in the red. And so the game that I was playing with myself is, okay, how many of these can I get out of the red and into just not red. So when I talk to patients in the office, the first goal is really not to get the weight to where we think it should be. The first goal is, how do we get all of these markers out of the red? I don't care what other color they are, and we'll do a show where we go through that. How do we get them out of the red? Once we get them out of the red, now we can look at some of the other things and say, how do I improve that one? How do I improve that marker? How do I change this? Okay, so that's the thing. So what's the process then? What is the process? There are several types of fasting. There's intermittent fasting. There is 1 meal a day, as we talked about at the top of the show. There is the 5 and 2. And so many different types of fasting that you can do. Which one fits into your lifestyle? Often we don't fail because we don't have drive, or we don't have an idea, or we don't have the tools. We don't fail because we don't have structure. And we don't have structure because we don't have clear definition of what we want and the thing that's going to take us there. So as you are thinking about fasting, which fasting method fits into your schedule, fits into your lifestyle? And grab the one that most closely aligns with the lifestyle. And if you do that, then the likelihood of success is a lot better. If you pick something where you have to contort and twist and reschedule and move and talk to people about changing, that one is a little bit more challenging. So we want to do things that will set us up for success as we move through the space. Okay? So what is the fasting method you're going to use? And then you want to research that, and we'll talk about more about that tomorrow when we do our complete walkthrough of fasting. But which one are you going to use, and what are the components of it, so that you understand it, and then understand what's going to happen in your daily life as you're moving through that space. Because if you don't understand that the body shifts from one energy source to another, when you feel that shift, then you may have difficulty. If you don't understand that you got to remain hydrated, make sure you're rested, then when you start having symptoms that are related to the fact that you're not rested, related to the fact that you're not hydrated, then you can set yourself up for difficulty. And you think that fasting didn't work, but it's not the fasting that didn't work, it's the process that surrounds the fasting. Okay? And then you guys knew this one was coming. In order to fast successfully, if you're going to be successful over the long term, you got to have community. You have to have community. When you are in community, you get to move faster, and you get to move more efficiently, and you have sustained progress. Because the community pulls you along, the community carries you, the community helps you along the way. So all the things that we've talked about, all of the ideas, right? Knowing why you're doing this, understanding what fasting is, deciding on a fasting method, coming up with a structure, researching the fast, all of those are supercharged when you're in community, because the community helps you in that space. So how do we fast successfully? That is a thumbnail version of how to fast successfully. It is the place that you want to start. When we talk about fasting, we tell people you've got to start slowly. Don't just jump into a 72-hour fast. Start where you are, and then move along and improve, and you get better and better and better and better until you're able to fast over the long term. Okay? All right. So let me hop over and let's grab some comments. Let's see. What do we have? Let's go back up here. Okay. Real Man Rising says, great shopping video. Video quality was clear. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so we're hoping to do a complete show where we actually do the shopping. A couple of things we're working on is that I think that's going to be a great view, and then having another camera up here where you can actually see the things I'm grabbing off the shelf and as we're putting them into the cart. In fact, right now I'm putting some more stuff. Let me hop over there real quick. So that's still a shopping video right there. And so we got some more things in there. So we got some chicken wings. Of course, we got those nuts. We got some chicken breast. And when I went to the store, all the chicken is gone, right? Because we got the storm that they say is coming through. So people have picked up all the chicken, and it's like, really? All right. All right. So that was that. It's a real good video. Autumn says, good job on the Cadbury. I often watch video on people eating when I'm fasting. Probably sounds strange. It does not sound strange, Autumn, because you know why it doesn't sound strange? Because you have company. I watch more videos on cooking food during my fast than any other time. Why? It's what we do. So I see that there, Autumn. Autumn says a lot of fasting for me is mental more than anything else. A huge part of fasting is mental. Right? So preparing for the fast, as we'll talk about on our show tomorrow, preparing for the fast is so important, and it is a huge mental component. So preparing for the fast, mental, getting through the fast, right? Because there are so many. Here's what happens. When we're not fasting, we use food to manage a lot of the feelings, a lot of the memories, a lot of the pain, a lot of the frustration, right? The heat model. We use food for that. So when we're fasting, we have to face those things without the tool that we have become accustomed to. So you really have to lean into that thing now without the crutch of the food. Does that make sense? And so it is a huge mental component. It is a huge mental component. So that was Autumn. Steve says, AJ, it's mostly mental for me or for us, and Steve is talking about him and his wife. Just have to fight through the hunger. And it is a practiced skill. Okay? It is practiced skill. Once again, getting into the fast, the way you come into the fast has a big part to play in how you get through the fast. And so making sure that you're mentally prepared, physically prepared, rested, not having any stressful things go on, all of those are things that you want to do. Absolutely mental thing. So Autumn is Gion is saying that. Autumn says, fortunately, I have not yet felt much hunger at all. I love that. Did you share with us, Autumn, when you started? What did you start the fast with, or what was the last thing you ate? Let me ask you that. What was the last thing you ate prior to the fast? Real Man Rising says, great tips on fasting. I'm going to catch the replay of your live stream. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, please make sure you get there, share it, let people know that it is. I was in the office today, and someone was saying to me that they were watching the video that we did, Dwain Woode MD Live on Monday. And remember, we were talking about setting ourselves up for success, and then our show yesterday, our episode yesterday, we were talking about a lot of the things that people experience with the food space, with binging, with fasting, the challenges that we have. And I can't tell you the number of people today who watched that video, and when they came, because we played in the lobby, when they came into the room, they were like, "That you were in my head, or you were talking about me. I was wondering, did you see me over the holiday?" Right? So there is this idea that we have that we're by ourselves, that we're alone. There must be something wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with us. It is a issue that we all need to work through together, and so that's why it's so important to be in the space with community. As I mentioned to someone last night over on the episode, when you say that, hey, I binged, or when I say to you, man, I went to the store today and I got some Cadbury, you understand because it is not a foreign thing to you. It is it's a shared experience, and that's the beauty of community. Autumn says my main goal for fasting, main goals are to lose weight and reduce my A1C. Great goals. I love those. And those are goals that are well within the capabilities of fasting. Okay. Gion said, my goal for fasting is to overcome food addiction. Now, Gion, and once again, when we are fasting, we're having to deal with some of the things that we don't normally deal with because we are eating, right? So, beautiful way of beginning to use that. Autumn says, and to feel like I am in control of my food intake. Very important for me because of my tendency to binge. Yes, I agree with that, Autumn. I love it. And I don't know, for you guys that are out there, when you're fasting, do you find that when you are coming to a fast, that there is almost a sense of relief? I feel that because during the fast, I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat. Now, I think about food, right? Because I see people around me eating and it's lunchtime and my wife and my son are eating, or I cook. And so I can't cook during fasting. I've tried it, but I'm not good enough to cook without tasting. And when I'm cooking, I'm imagining the food and I'm putting it together. And yeah, I can't do it. Right, I can't do it. So to feel like we're in control, and it is a huge part of fasting. I'm gonna actually keep that comment because I want us to come back, not tonight, but we'll probably do a show where we talk about this idea of control. I want to feel a control food. Actually, Gion says I want to feel that I'm in control of food. Actually, I am. Okay, that you are controlling your food. Yes, Gion, that is huge. And then Autumn says, I feel the same much of the time. we're all in there with you. Actually, while I do this, let me do this really quickly. And I don't think I did this yesterday. I am going to go ahead and in the community tab, go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put a link for the Zoom. So I'll be on after so that you can, let's see, copy the link. So that those of you who are out there who want to come on, and I encourage you, we can just spend a few minutes kind of chatting and with each other. So let me do that really quickly. Let's see, create a post. And I'm just putting this in. There you go. Okay, so it's in the community tab on the YouTube channel, so you can hop over and log in. I'll be there for a little while afterwards. Okay, all right. So continuing, let's take a look at some of these other comments. Gion says, I really understand. Gion says, what every day, one meal a day it really fits me. Yes. So finding the thing that fits you is very important. Okay. Finding the fasting method, finding the process that works for you, very important. Over 24-hour fast is challenging for me so far. And thank you for saying that. As we are doing the 24-hour fast or doing over 24-hour fast, we want to work our way up to that, right? So we want to start where you are, and then you're moving gradually to that space. Gian says community is most important part in my fasting. Well, thank you. Yes, it is. It is very important. And I've said to you guys that when I had that Cadbury, so Autumn, go back and watch that show. When I had the Cadbury in the car, the reason I didn't eat it was because I was getting ready to come on the show. So you guys were my accountability partner that night. Okay. Autumn says the longest fast I've done is 9 days. Okay, wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, you get a hand clap for that one. I think the longest that we've done here on the show was, I think we did 100 and I think we did 5 days. I think we did 5 days here on the show. Personally, we've done longer fasts, but here on the show, we've done the longest we've done is a 5-day fast. Auden says, I'm glad to hear I'm not alone watching food videos. Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. And yeah, and so I think I mentioned to you guys I bought a smoker several weeks ago. And so I've been using that smoker over and over and over. In fact, when I went to the store, I went to get some chicken to smoke. But once again, I need to avoid doing that when I'm fasting because it doesn't go well because I end up eating. Gian says, wow, amazing, Autumn. Fasting. On Monday, I ate Pop-Tarts, 2 apples, and celery with crunchy peanut butter, then started the fast. Okay. So let's see, Pop-Tarts, apples, celery, crunchy peanut butter. So remember, as you're getting into the fast, when you're having, well, let me back up. So 3 things that will supercharge your fast. 1, protein, 2, healthy fats, and 3, of course, once you get into the fast, the ketones themselves. Okay? So the food, 2 food types, 1 food process, and of course hydration and rest. Okay. What is a Pop-Tart? A Pop-Tart is a tasty treat filled with fruit, and it's almost like taking two crackers and putting it together, two cookies, big cookies, putting them together, and in the middle you have jam. Gian says I'm eating cheese. Okay, so let's go ahead and Gian says cheesecake. Lightworks is here. Hey, how you doing, man? Thank you for coming through. I love cheesecake. Steve says hello, Light. Hi, Light. Lightworks said I would have joined earlier, but I thought it was a replay. Got to get my schedule right. Now, so Lightworks, you were not. Remember the check-ins that we do. I'm trying to get those more standardized so that we know about the time. But that these typically happen when I've gone to the hospital, seen patients, and come back. And so sometimes that is variable, which is why these check-ins are a little bit more flexible. The show on Monday is at 7 Central every Monday at the same time. I'm working on making these a little bit more, but sometimes my schedule at the hospital in the office is a little flexible, and I don't want to do it later, so I end up doing it earlier. So all that to say is we're glad that you're here. Okay. Jennifer says, howdy all. Autumn, Joy. Jennifer, I sent you a message in the members area. Hope you saw that. All right. Let's see. So everyone's saying hi to Jennifer. Thank you for coming through. Gian is saying hello. Hello, Jennifer. Lightwork says I'm going to try a 96-hour fast. Got a colonoscopy on Monday. Okay. All right. So just make sure you are remaining hydrated. And I think they'll, right before, I guess it's a 12-hour fast that they want you to do. right? So make sure that you're remaining hydrated leading up to that, particularly with the colonoscopy, because the clean out is going to, you're going to lose fluids that way as well, okay? Autumn says, good timing, light. Pamela says, hello. Gian says, hi, Pam. Hey, everybody. Autumn says, a sort of cheap pastry. Okay, so Autumn is giving a definition of the Pop-Tart. And then, of course, hi, Pam. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look. And I've got the video that's still playing. Those of you who are, let's see, where is it? So those of you who didn't see that, let's pop over. So I went shopping and just working on just a kind of a demo video that we're gonna do. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, we'll do this a little longer. Just kind of looking at the view that you'll get as we are walking through that space. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at my ketones. So I had some guesses for ketones. I think I saw a 0.8, I saw a 1, and I saw a 1.2 if I remember correctly. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna pull up my Keto Mojo and go ahead and turn that on. And while that's doing that, let me grab this one. Okay, and let's go ahead and get that synced. And drum roll, please, drum roll. So right now, 46 and a half hours. All right, so blood sugar of 97, ketones of 0.9. 97 blood sugar, 0.9 ketones. Remember, for ketones, we want those to remain 0.5 or higher. Less than 0.5 considered normal, 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. Okay, so that's where we want to be. We want to be in the 0.5 or higher section. Okay, that's where we want to be. All right. So we'll be back tomorrow as we do our check-in. We'll do a review of fasting as we do on Fridays. We will be back on Monday before Monday. So Saturday night, video from the vault. And then Sunday morning, This Week in Review, where we review the videos that we've done this week. If you've not done so yet, please join our 100-day walk to consistency and health. That airs every morning at 6 a.m. Central, and we'll be doing that over the course. We're on day number 9. So 100-day walk to consistency is a great way to begin developing a routine. So if you're not going to be walking, that's fine. You can row, you can jog, you can get on your treadmill, on your elliptical. You can lift. Right, just put me in your ear, and we're talking through the course of that talking through the process. So join that. That's one of those features that we have that's out there. The playlist is out there. It's called My 100-Day Walk to Consistency and Health. Okay, so lots of resources that are out there. Remember, everything that we do is done with our idea of being in the metabolic space. With done based on our triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows and the blogs and the podcasts. We encourage with and of course I just put the number up there for the Zoom. We educate, we encourage with the community that we are part of, that you are a part of, and we empower with the tools. So make sure that you are getting in community. Make sure that you are joining with us and being a part of this limitless living path that we're on. Remember, that is our theme for this year, limitless living, right? Limitless living. That's where we are. we are setting ourselves up for success, that nothing outside of us, nothing in us is going to prevent us from doing what we need to do to be metabolically healthy. All right. So if you've not done so, the link for the Zoom is in the area, in the community area. Just popped it there. So jump over. I'll be there for a little while after the show. We can chat it up a little bit. I know it's a little late, so those of you who got to get to bed, go ahead and do that. And Lightworks, like I said, we're working on making the time for the check-ins a little bit more consistent, so that you will know. Remember, the Monday Dwain Woode MD Live is always 7 o'clock Central, right here on the channel. So thank you for being with us. I'm always excited, as I said, to be here with you. And I am actually, let me do this. I think I saw. Let me back up. Sorry. I'm going to see if I can grab just a couple more comments here. So Autumn says that she was off to bed. So glad for that. Steve says good afternoon to Gian. Hope you get better soon, Autumn. Yes, hope you feel better. Okay, those were the comments I wanted to grab before we went. So let's make sure that you are setting yourself up for success, and make sure that you are joining us as we move into this metabolic space. As always, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And we are powering our limitless living with this new you, this new us that we've created. Good night, everybody. We'll see you at our next episode.